comprehension without hearing. As we learned to read, we heard words read out loud to us. We read out loud to our teacher, mother, or father. We associated the sound of the words with what we were reading, or having read to us. There is nothing wrong with that, we have to go through that process. But it leaves us with yet another, mostly bad, habit. Almost all of us retain that little inner voice as if someone is talking to us as we read. This is not sub-vocalization, we are not using any of our speaking apparatus. It is our thinking voice. We call it hearing the words. Our thinking voice operates faster than our physical voice and is not a problem until we reach about 450 to 550 WPM. It can sometimes be useful. It can help us to identify and pronounce new words and punch them into our memory. But we do not need it all the time. When driving, crossing a busy road or playing a fast sport, we can very quickly identify road signs and symbols, anticipate closure speeds and movements without a little voice in our head talking us through it. Can you understand the following, without that thinking voice saying them? When reading, we identify punctuation marks, graphs, pictures and blueprints without that little inner voice reciting them to us. We hear written words from ingrained habit, not because we really need to in order to comprehend. Figures, graphics and punctuation marks we learn mostly in writing. We did not read them out loud, so did not form the habit of hearing them. There are well over 1 million words in the English language. English is by far the world's largest language and is growing rapidly, but fortunately, and quite surprisingly, 10 words make up 20% of all that we read and write. Some 50 common words make almost half the entire bulk of writing in our language. Such words are more commonly seen than any road sign, and more common than most punctuation marks. But if you don't need to hear road signs and punctuation marks in order to comprehend them, then with practice, you don't have to hear those extremely common words either, in order to understand them. Mentally hear those punchy, keywords, unusual, technical or new words because that aids comprehension, but if you can silence that little inner voice from mentally saying or hearing those very common words that make up half of your reading, that alone will allow you to almost double your reading speed, with no loss of comprehension.